George Floyd, Daunte Wright. I wonder if you'll remember their names 6 months from today, because they'll be replaced by so many others. You're here, people. What are you going to do when you see these shootings? You know what you're going to do. That George Floyd. Did you hear about him? That Daunte Wright. Did you hear about him? That 13-year-old Adam. You know he was a gangbanger. Why do that? Because you want to make the problem them. Takes the onus off the idea that you're wrong about policing not needing to change. Forget that police are trained to deal with non-compliance with force that is not lethal. Hey, comply or die. And you know what the answer is? You really do. You don't like it. I don't like it. It scares me. Shootings, gun laws, access to weapons. Oh, yeah, I know when they'll change. Your kids start getting killed. White people's kids start getting killed. Smoking that doobie that's actually legal probably in your state now, but they don't know what it was, and then the kid runs and then pop, 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 pop. Cop was justified. Why'd you run? Oh, he had a baseball game tonight. Huh. The white kid, oh, big family, that house over there. Those start piling up. What is going on with these police? Huh. What? Maybe we shouldn't even have police. That kind of mania, that kind of madness, that'll be you. That'll be the majority. Because it's your people. See? Now, black people start getting all guns, forming militias, protect themselves. Can't trust deep state. Woo-hoo. You'll see a wave of change in access and accountability. We saw it in the 60s. That's when it changes. Because that's when it's you. My job is to show you in them, because they're but for the grace. And the grace is forgiveness that none of us deserve.
Now, when Cuomo is talking about this, he's only telling the truth. Now, with Daunte Wright, I'm going to just tell the truth of that one, that he had a warrant. Okay, he was stopped by police, and he tried to get away, tried to hop back in his car. He resisted arrest, tried to hop back in his car and get away and sped off. In the heat of the moment, the woman pulled out a gun. She thought it was a taser and shot Daunte Wright. If Daunte Wright had complied and not tried to resist arrest, not tried to get away from being arrested, he would be alive today. I don't know why that's so hard for black people to understand. I don't. Black people have a hard time understanding. Well, not all blacks. You know, the blacks that are liberal-minded and think that all blacks do not cause their death at the hands of police. I'm not a coon. I'm just telling you the facts. But a lot of blacks can't get that through their heads. They can't. As far as him saying that, you know, when white people's kids start getting killed, that's when things will change. And sad to say, that's the truth. When there are white people getting killed by police. You just don't see it as much in the news because it doesn't bring that much ratings. Let's be honest. Okay, mainstream media is just giant YouTube. Before YouTube, there was mainstream media, and it was about ratings. You had good ratings, you stayed on the air. If you didn't, you got canned. That's what it is. And Chris Cuomo's right. He is right. A lot of people are going to get mad. You know, oh, well. And if you're white and you're mad about what he's saying, then you have to check yourself. Do some history. Do some research, because it's true, especially with this drug epidemic, right? Black people aren't, you know, black communities flooded with drugs by the Nixon administration. A Nixon aide admitted to that. The war on drugs was really the war on black people. And it was all fine. You know, Nancy Reagan would say, just say no to drugs. But then when white people's kids start being on drugs, now we got to take it seriously. That's what has to happen. Because we live in a racist society. I'm not for either side, Republican, Democrat, but when they start speaking truth about certain things, I'm for that. I am definitely for that. And that's basically what he's saying is the truth. White people get the sniffles, black people get the flu. When white people get the flu, now we have to have change. Now we got to find a solution to the problem. Because black lives really don't matter. They don't. And no, I'm not for BLM, but I am for the idea that black lives matter. The problem is it doesn't in this country as much as whites. And when something happens to whites, then all of a sudden, now we got to come and we got to fix the problem. And that's what's going to happen with this police. Because when Joe Biden finally gets that okay from the Supreme Court to give cops the power to come into your house without a warrant to take away your guns, then white people will probably want to stand up and change. They'll start demanding change.
For the blessings that we're wasting in this country. That is our reality. And the reality is clear, and the state of play is unchanging. And that is not a recipe for any type of longevity. And what do we do here? What do I do here? I get lost in the next name, the next iteration. The new in news dominates because you get bored. I've heard enough. I cared about George Floyd. It was wrong. But I've had it with the trials too long. Just let me know when they have a verdict. We pretend that we're not just seeing the same lying and lack of leading and bleeding and death and pain. New names, new faces, new places. Same problems. You know it, I know it. I know that you know. The testing, the voting, the vaccines, the dying, the shooting, the drugs, the suicide, the teaching, the testing of education, all of it. It all hits the poor and the poor of color worst, and we know it. And we've always known it. I remember my father preaching about this when my teeth were 2 inches apart. I was a fat kid waiting to eat on the steps of my house while he was talking to people that he was asking to vote for him in one of the elections that he lost, like 5, 6 in a row. Us and them. There's never a solution that doesn't begin with we. We, the people, they started it. Every copy you see of the document blows those letters up. Why? Because that's all we have is the interconnectedness and the interdependence. If you give up on one another, that's it. And it doesn't matter how impressive or resonant or you feel the words to be. Because all you have is prayer. All you have is hope. That at some point, something makes some iteration or generation of us realize that the only solution is not less, but more. More people, more enabled to do more with talent, to make more pie for all of us. That is the only way that this country ever approaches what she is supposed to be. And the only question for us.
Problem is like this country is getting worse by the minute. Okay, things are not going to get better. They're going to get worse. That's the reality. Things are not going to get better. They are going to get worse. I'm not really, understanding what he means by more. I mean, I hope not more government. Okay, there needs to be a balance, but that's never going to happen because this two-party system is a farce. All from the time this country has been created till now, all there's ever been is two parties. That just shows there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And it's been kept two parties for a reason, to have a divide in the country. That's it. That's basically what it is. It's a divide. It's intentionally put there for a divide. Nothing more, nothing less. We will still have these shootings. We'll still have this racism. We'll still have racists in power that have ways to oppress people who are not white. We will still have this. Nothing's really going to change until things really get bad. Nothing's really going to change. Just the honest truth. All right. If you like the commentary, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later. And abolishing the police is not what's needed. Reform. Reform is needed. Also, not only with the police, but with the Black community. Both sides need to be reformed. That's it.